Hello, friends. Welcome to GK Sports India, and this is a special interview. My guest today is former West Indies cricket player who played between 2003 and 2005 for the West Indies, music writer, guitarist, the first from Anguilla in the Caribbean islands to play for West Indies international cricket, Omari Banks, who has made music his career. We all love Caribbean Calypso, the West Indies music, reggae, and whatnot. Omari Banks has made a career out of music, writing his own songs and playing guitar, jamming with fellow cricketer, close friend among many, Chris Gale. Let's listen to Omari Banks and his story and his thoughts on how music and cricket go together, especially in the West Indies, and what it can do to make one relax, especially before a very big game. Let's listen to Omari Banks.
We here again.
Universe boss.
Raise your glass in the
Welcome, Omari Banks, to GK Sports India YouTube channel. How have you been? What have you been up to these days? Music, cricket, whatnot?
Mostly, well, the music. I mean, I follow a little bit of the cricket, what's going on with the West Indies, and of course the IPL and CPL, and what's going on a little bit in international cricket. But for the most part, I'm spending most of my time traveling, performing. I've got a new project that I'll be releasing in 2026, a new album. My first album in, I would say, in the for the last 7 years. So I'm
Mhm.
really excited about that. I've released a few singles, but just really excited to release a complete full package of music very soon.
Right. So you would have followed the recent India West Indies two-test series in India. West Indies, of course, giving a fight back in the second innings of the second test. What did you make of that series? And of course, the result was along expected lines, but not many expected the West Indies, to give a fight back in the way they did through John Campbell and Shai Hope.
Well, I mean, I think India an amazing team. I mean, they're an international team, a team of world-class players from batting to bowling. So I think the performance from India in India was expected. The West Indies cricket team, I think we've had some, of course, some hard knocks over the past series that we've played, but within the team, we've got some players that in the 2020 game and in the one-day format of the game are international world-class players. It's always going to be challenging for any team, whether West Indies, Australia, New Zealand, England, anybody who travels to India. But nobody wants to lose in quick time in a test match. So I think it was kind of disappointing that we got rolled over so quickly in the first test match. It was good to see the fight back in the second test match. But ultimately, I'm from the Caribbean. I play for the West Indies team. My heart is always with the West Indies team when they play, and I always will wish them well. And the players that go out there to perform, they have my best wishes and blessings when they go out there. But yeah, we just gotta continue to continue grow from performances like that. Learn from the test match that we lost in the first one. The second one, of course, we fought back a bit, but ultimately what we want to do is to definitely in those matches where we fight, we have at least a draw and that we don't outright lose. So I think we've got still a way to go. I think this has been well documented for quite a while that we've been not at the what should I say the forefront of world cricket for a number of years as it regards to Test cricket in the longer format. But we've just got to continue to put the structure in place in our regional cricket and hopefully, I mean, being the shining light that we were in the international cricket for such a long time, we hope that the international um, cricket bodies around the world do what they can to facilitate.
Certainly, and having seen West Indies in its glorious days, dominating opposition everywhere. The world cricket wants West Indies to do well. And that's what even the Indian head coach Gautam Gambhir said after the series, that the world cricket wants West Indies to do well. There has been talk of this revival of West Indies cricket for quite some, I won't say years, but even decades. When are we going to see the revival of West Indies cricket?
Well, the truth is, I mean, nobody knows the answer for that. I mean, but the answer would start with us. I mean, although we would like anything else, help from whether it be outside forces. I think whatever change happens within a person, within a country, within a region, it starts with us, self. So I think, as somebody who's in music and somebody who's always kind of studied the whole psychological aspects of whether it be our cricket and even our position where we are, even politically as a people, I think it starts internally. And I think what we have to continue to do as a region is continue to showcase the best parts of ourselves, best parts of ourselves when it comes to even our nation building. And I think that will tie into the cricket. I think when you look at the likes of Vivian Richards, in Andy Roberts, Malcolm Marshall, Sir Gary Soberts, when they played for West Indies teams, they had a real sense of pride of what it meant to be from the Caribbean, but not only that, but what it meant to be a black person in the Caribbean and going up against the forces that are outside of the Caribbean, which sometimes historically was it put us in a position where we had to fight back. And I think a lot of that whole psychological mentality came out through the cricket. It was an opportunity for them to showcase who they were as people, that we were enough, that despite our challenges, we could overcome that. And I think in a lot of ways, in the modern game, in the modern player, and I'm no different. I mean, we grew up in a different time, but I was brought up in a time where I was always had a strong sense of self. I mean, that is reflected in my music. But I think a bit of that consciousness, which so evident in the music back time. I'm gonna tie it into the music other than music right now. I think if we understand and have that same consciousness in our sports, in our whole mentality of how we see ourselves as a people, think that will begin to be a part of the process of our reinsurgence to being on the international level, be a force to reckon with. Because I think it really starts with the mind, that confidence. Marcus Garvey says, without confidence, you're twice defeated in the race of life, but with confidence, you've won before you started. I think we need back that confidence as a people before we can see the results on the field.
Right, and you're one of those rare cricketers who has taken to music and making a career out of music. How did it all start about? Was it easier being the son of the legendary Bankie Banks and taking up music, or was it just natural for a West Indian to take up music and make a career out of it?
Well, I've always been the kind of person that says natural talent will take you here, but to really go to the next level, which one that you can make it a professional career, you've got to have a passion and you've got to have some kind of discipline. And I was blessed to one, grew up around a dad who was an artist and a musician, but he traveled a lot. I saw what he did in music and how his whole attitude to music was about his music. And a bit of that, of course, if you're in that environment, that would rub off. But ultimately, it came down to I would say 90%, 95% of what I've have been able to achieve in music definitely came from a lot of the lessons that I learned from my time struggling, coming from an island like Anguilla,
Mhm.
a population of 12,000 people. Nobody before me, myself had played international cricket for the West Indies team, playing on substandard conditions, not having people to bowl to me when I went to practice, but excelling, being recognized by a coach of Leicestershire called Jack Birkinshaw, invited me to go over to train with the guys at Leicestershire from 14, 15 years old and developing my game. So a lot of those the disciplines which were necessary for me to be able to have even a career now, 13, 14 years in music, came from my lessons that I learned in sports. From a kid, I always took parts in talent shows, but I mean, it was just talent shows. I know kids who take part in talent shows, win talent shows, and that kind of stuff, and never pursue a career as an artist. But there was always something in me from a very early age which says I was a very sensitive person, and I always looked around my environment and asked myself questions. And I think that's a kind of a natural thing that you have as an artist. When you can look at your environment, assess it, and then from that write something or create something creatively, I think you're reaching into a different part of yourself, which you gradually become an artist. And I think ultimately that process for me has always felt very natural because I've always had an opinion. I always feel I had something to say, and the writing process has always just come naturally to me. I think as anything you do, you get better at it over a period of time, and with time you're able to key in on different elements of a skill, which can make that skill grow. But ultimately, I think for me, environment played a big part. As I said before, being around a lot of musicians. Of course, my dad being an artist, maybe not him teaching me how to do something, but just observing other musicians, learning chords, having a passion to be able to learn more, looking at different styles of music, jazz, blues, rock, reggae, funk, R&B, soul, gospel. I think because of sports, I always had the mentality that music for me is global. So whether I listen to music coming from India, Australia, classical music, our traditional calypso, soca, or reggae music, I've always seen it as how it affects me and what can I take from that music to create something that's unique. And I think that's what art is. It's about observing, taking in what's around you, and just creating something which is yourself. So I think we're all influenced by others, but people who become artists or people who create something is they take those different influences and they make something uniquely their own.
You being the first Anguillan to represent West Indies in international cricket, were you the lead singer in the dressing room when the mood was not really healthy, when things were not going the West Indies way? And who were the other singers who joined you from the West Indies team?
Well, I'll say this. Actually, matches, strangely enough, I played 10 test matches, and out of the 10 test matches that I played, I think we've got a better record than most. I've got a better record in terms of those matches. I think we won close to 50% of those matches, and we didn't lose too many out of the 10 that I played. So I think I had a great time playing for West Indies in the sense of that when I played, I would say that yeah, I had some cool, really cool moments. As I said before, my second test match, I was able to be a part of the world record chase when we chased on 418, and of course that was in Antigua, which was like a home game for me. And that was a jubilant experience. I mean, after that, we went on the next series against Sri Lanka. I think we won that series 1-0. Then we went on to I think Zimbabwe, where I got injured, and we won that series 1-0. I bowled well. I got injured, but then but we won that series. But I think the hardest part of it was in England, when we played against England in that series where and England in English conditions is always difficult. But in the dressing room, I was always known to be the guy who always walked with his guitar. And this was even before I played for West Indies. So from under 15 to under 19s to my professional Leeward Islands team, I would travel my cricket gear, my cricket bag, my guitar on my back. So music was always something, even before cricket, I would say that my first job when I finished high school before I started to play professional cricket at 18, for 2 years I did entertaining in different hotels just so I could make a little bit of money at night to 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 just take care of myself and practice cricket in the day. So music was always something that I had, which I love to do. It was a passion. I would say when I was playing sports, I never thought I never thought that I was going to be a musician. I
Mhm.
mean, after I got so engrossed in cricket, because when I was playing cricket, I was obsessed with the game. That's all I wanted to do. Get up every morning, sleep, drink, eat cricket. Everything was geared and focused towards that, but I still always had music, which was something that kept me grounded. Um, so I always played in the dressing room. I mean, it's always good to my teammates would sing along at times, and sometimes it's just something to take my mind away from the game, because cricket is a game, as they say, of glorious uncertainties. And in sports, you're gonna have high moments, down moments, but music and the guitar was always a balancer. And I had great times playing for the guys. The guys enjoyed it. It was something that brought us together. No, I mean the series. Well, we won in my first series. I played after the test match that we won with Richard Judson and Curtly
Mm.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Myself and Brett Lee, we spoke a couple times about jamming together. Recently, I did a song with my brother Chris Gale, who was always the life of the party in the dressing room. So I mean, everybody in the team always loved music. I think when you play sports, no matter what happened, just before we went out to the field or while we were in the dressing room, they would always put on music to kind of set the atmosphere before we went out. And my guitar was always just something that I would play back in my room in the lobby when we congregated, together just to have a good time, have a chill, a relaxed time, I should say.
We often see not only Indian cricketers but almost every cricketer wearing something on the ears and listening to music uh, just to relax and not feel the pressure of a big match. What can music
Absolutely.
do to relax and keep one prepared well before a big game? How does it do it?
Well, there's a couple ways. One, the lyrics of a song speaks a lot. I mean, and I think when you speak life and when you write a music as an artist and when you can write something that inspires people, ultimately, that's the most powerful thing that you can have. That you can write something from your perspective and it touches somebody from in their perspective. So I think the psychological implications that music can have is huge. I mean, a lot of times, even remember when I played, what I would do, I would listen. I remember listening to songs that I would hear when I was a kid growing up, when I was wishing to play for West Indies, or wishing that my dreams would come true. And then you play those same songs when you're on the team, and you get a sense of nostalgia. And I think when you get those feelings and those good feelings and those reflective feelings in your mind, sometimes it causes you to think that you're ready for the moment because you know you've done your best, you prepared yourself. So that's one. We've got just the lyrical content and just the nostalgia of listening and what one song can represent in the psyche of a player can mean. And just sometimes, and just on the other hand, you know that just music and sound is a powerful thing. We know the frequencies and the vibrations that music and sound has. They tap into something into us, into something in us as humans that is kind of subliminal or subconscious, where it can relax us. So I think music is a very powerful thing, and I've always been drawn to music and sound. Sometimes as a kid, I would just go next to the water and listen to the water and meditate. And I think in meditation, I think we ground ourselves and we're able to get ourselves down to earth and understand that whatever we do, sometimes we have these lofty goals. Sometimes we just need to relax and let things take its natural course. And I think one of the most powerful things that I thought that I did as a sportsman, what I would do is after I've gotten to a point where you're in a tough time and you've got some it's make or break. Sometimes just letting go and saying, you know what, I'm just gonna just do the best that I can, and that's it. Sometimes the best performances come out in that way. When you let go, and music is the perfect thing to put you in that moment. You let go of all the different hopes and aspirations that you have and just go out there and focus on the thing that you love doing, which is playing the sport, doing whatever it is, bowling the ball, batting the ball, just put it back down to the simple basics.
You also write songs. So, have you tried writing songs to lift the West Indies cricket and maybe through your songs perform better and maybe that's one of the roots of West Indies cricket revival.
Well, hey, what? I think a lot of my music is geared towards that. I mean, I've got a lot of songs which lend towards inspiration and hope and confidence. So I think that is something which I think currently they can, if the players want to listen to songs about that, they can do that. But I mean, I think they have a number of songs which they listen to that inspire them as well. I know my song "Move On" inspired me. It's a song that I wrote, title track of my first album, which was inspired by my transition. And a
Mhm.
bit of the lyrics says, "Don't look back on what you could have done, just move on, but learn you're a champion with faith. The battle is won." So I think having those that sense of peace, knowing that no matter what happened in the past, you have to move on from that, and with faith, you can overcome your obstacles. I think it's a powerful thing. And I think that's what music is about. Music is about really inspiring people, touching people's lives. Sports is about entertainment and the lessons that you can learn from it. And I think music and sports go together. It has always done that for me. But I probably might take you up on your what should I say? On your test. You say that I should maybe write a song which directly relates to
Mhm.
the resurgence of West Indies cricket. Maybe I might do that someday.
Mhm. Good, fantastic. You recently mentioned about Chris Gale and you doing a song together.
Yeah.
How was it, and how of course we know Chris Gale is a big man in world cricket. His cricketing accomplishments are just phenomenal, and a great lively character in any party. What was it like, and how often do you get cricketers involved in your songs, in your music, in your albums?
Well, I mean, Chris and myself, I've known Chris from under 19s days. Before he played for West Indies team, he was playing for Jamaica. I was playing for Leeward, so we met during the under 19s. And of course, we played for West Indies cricket team together. So I've known him quite a while. Even when we played, we always had that mutual respect. And he was an off spin, I bowled off spin. He was an opening batsman, I was lower order batsman. But he was always somebody that I respected. Respected not only because how he could play, but he just had this sense of spirit of genuine vibe, which I really appreciated about him. I mean, a lot of people see the big bravado of Chris, but I look beyond that. I look beyond the person who's solid and who you can depend on. And as I said before, when the time came, I've been doing music for the past 13, 14 years. And Chris is the only person that I've done a collaboration with who was a cricketer.
Mhm.
But I think it was a good thing because I know he was always somebody who loved music, and I saw he was doing music, more dancehall music. My music is more from a live music perspective. But when I saw Chris, I thought, hey, this is a good, I think this would be a good thing if we did something together, reflective and which had a vibe of his vibrant, upbeat mentality and party of the life of the party kind of mentality, as well as a bit of my musicality because I'm a singer, songwriter, producer, guitar player as well. And I think that's what living it up is about. It just kind of captured the moment, Chris' personality, my musicality, and just us putting that together, reflective of our times back in cricket, and of course now, because I think Chris is still living it up. And
Of course,
for
yes.
me, I'm still doing my thing and loving what I do and following my passions and yeah, as I said before, I think life is about that. You got to find purpose, passion, and enjoyment in all that you do. I think Chris does that. I do the same, and I think it was a perfect collaboration.
Yeah, and you visited India about 5 6 years ago,
Yeah.
connected with your album. And what was that experience like? Of course, different from playing in India, but what was that experience? And when are you again next visiting India for your music?
Yeah, I mean, visiting India was great. I mean, I visited over there, of course, as a cricketer, and of course now as a musician. It was beautiful. I mean, I had a great time, um, watching a bit of the IPL, performing in Pune, performing in Mumbai. And yeah, just had a great time just speaking to everybody from over there, going to the different radio stations, meeting up with a couple of the cricketers, whether it be Darren Sammy, Brett Lee, Bravo, Chris Gale. Chris Gale and Bravo actually we collaborated on stage for a show in Pune at that time. So that
Mhm.
was an awesome experience. So it's always good to reconnect with my cricketing buddies because we share a bond that can never be broken. I think once you reach to the highest level of whatever you do, you know the hard work it takes to reach that level and what hard work it takes to maintain that level. So it was great to reconnect with those guys. I mean, I follow what they do online. I don't see them every day, but I'm always watching. And as a cricket lover, I still follow what's happening with the guys every now and again, just to so I'm aware. And with my new project that's going to be coming out in 2026, the whole idea is for me to come over to India again and do some performances. So shout out to any of your followers and guests and all those promoters who are looking to book an artist to come over and perform. I'm ready for that. So I'll be doing some tours. I've been doing touring in the US and the Caribbean and of course in Europe for the past couple of years. And of course I just came off tour from New York in the US a couple weeks ago. So I need to make another stop in India. So I'm really excited to get the touring again going in the new year with a new project. So exciting times.
Definitely looking forward to having you again in India. But how has the response been? Are you surprised with the kind of response that Indians have for the West Indies music? Of course, we Indians love West Indies music and that they go a long way. But were you surprised with the reception, or it was just expected, or it was how was it?
I mean, I had a great time. Well, of course, once you go to India and you got Chris Gayle and Bravo there, they're gonna love it. So it's great to collaborate with Chris and Bravo in Pune. And of course, I mean, a lot of people know me from cricket, but I'm not as huge a star as Chris Gayle and Bravo. But I think just the fact that I think the music that I create it's got an international appeal to it, and I think music for one, I think once people hear it and once it touches them a certain way, they connect to it. And when I was over in India, I mean, I just had a great time just connecting with our people. I think people when I say our people, I think people of the world are our people, and the people of India understand rhythm, they understand music, and they understand the Caribbean culture. I should say almost just as good as us here in the Caribbean. So I think India and the Caribbean have a bond, and that bond can't be broken. I think we understand our history, we understand the past, and I think that history and that past brings us together, unites us. So we have something that brings us together, and one of those things is definitely music.
And certainly, that was one of the reasons why we Indians want West Indies cricket to do well. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So, anything else that you would like to say, brother, on any subject on your music or whatever?
I would just like to tell folks to make sure that they follow me socially. On Instagram, it's Omari Banks Music. On Facebook, it's Omari Banks. And my webpage is www.omaribanks.com. My YouTube is Omari Banks. Make sure you check out my single with Chris Gayle. It's called Living It Up. We got another single which I released just before that, which is called In My Head. And yeah, I'm just really, really excited to release new music for 2026. Really, really excited about that. So enough love, maximum respect, and I'm looking forward to coming over to India in 2026. So all the promoters, make sure you hit them up and let them know that Amari Banks is ready to come over.
Looking forward to that, and thank you so much for talking to me on this YouTube channel, and wish you all the very best.
Much love, my brother.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you, my brother.